Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder? What if one night you noticed something different? Something that would change our skies, our seas, and life as we know it. What if our moon, the one celestial body that has faithfully orbited Earth for billions of years, suddenly lost its steady grip on its axis? Could our nights become darker and our tides less predictable? Would the animals that rely on the moon's light find their paths, or would they wander lost in the new darkness? And what about us, the observers, the dreamers, the planners? How would our songs change, our calendars, our nights, and our very understanding of time? Join me on this cosmic journey as we explore the mind-bending possibilities on what if the moon lost its axis? So, our moon, as it stands, is a steady character. It's chilling at an average distance of about 238,855 miles from Earth. Its axis is tilted just a smidge 1.5 degrees relative to Earth's orbit. This slight tilt and its snug distance keep the moon locked in, showing us only one face ever since humans have been around to look up. Basically, this whole setup is what gives us the tides, those steady highs and lows that all the ocean creatures have their whole rhythm and life cinched up to. Alright, so imagine if the moon got knocked off its axis by some random space collision, like bumping into a rogue planet. That would totally turn things upside down, like rewriting the rules of a game that's been played the same way for a billion years. The moon that we're used to, the one that's been the metronome for Earth's tides, would start hitting different beats. The tides we know are powered by the moon's gravitational pull. In some places, like the Bay of Fundy in Canada, the difference between high and low tide can be massive, up to 53 feet. But if the moon's tilt shifts, those tides could become super erratic, maybe smaller, maybe bigger. It would turn into a big guessing game for all the sea creatures that depend on the tides, and for us humans as well. Our whole cultural vibe with the moon would get a wild plot twist. We have all these songs, paintings, and stories that paint the moon as this reliable, predictable character. If it starts to wobble, it's not just a big deal for science. It's like rewriting all those stories. It would be like waking up to find that your reliable old friend has suddenly decided to become a street artist in Paris or something. You'd be stoked for them, but also thrown off. Like, hey, since when did you become so wild and unpredictable? That's pretty much what it would be like with the moon. We've got this deep emotional connection to it, and if it changes, we'd all feel it. It's a reminder that even the stuff we think we know inside out can still throw us a curveball. Keeps life interesting, right? Those full moon nights that light up the paths for nocturnal critters and inspire poets. They could become a memory, replaced by a new lunar landscape that would rewrite calendars, challenge religious observances, and inspire a fresh wave of cultural output. Bringing it back to Earth, our tilt is comfy at 23.5 degrees, thanks to the moon's stabilizing love. It gives us those 4 predictable seasons, but mess with the moon's tilt, and Earth's tilt could start to wobble, putting us on a climatic roller coaster with long-term cycles of freezing and toasting that would make our current weather look like child's play. The moon's slow drift away from us. That's 3.8 centimeters per year. But change the tilt, and maybe it speeds up that exit. Days that could eventually stretch out way longer than our current 24-hour cycle. The moon's a big player in the global economy. Its pull controls the tides, and we've got whole industries set up around its steady rhythm. Take tidal energy projects, for example. They're engineered down to the last bolt based on the moon's phases and how they affect the tides. If the moon's behavior changes, the rhythm of the tides changes. That could mean tidal energy sources might become less predictable, potentially less efficient, or even overpowered by unexpected shifts in water flow. Adapting to this could mean redesigning infrastructure, which is definitely not cheap. Then there's the fishing industry, which is like this intricate dance with the moon's cycles. Fishermen rely on the moon to know the best times to cast their nets. If the moon starts acting up, it could disrupt fish behavior, breeding cycles, migration patterns. This would not only hit the seafood supply, but could also affect the millions of people worldwide who depend on fishing for their livelihoods. And don't get me started on coastal defense. Cities spend a fortune building seawalls, barriers, and other defenses based on predictable high and low tides. If the moon's tilt goes off kilter and sea levels start acting up, we could see flooding in places that were previously safe, or conversely, coastal areas that used to be at risk might find themselves oddly dry. This could lead to a scramble in reallocating resources and funding to protect shorelines and infrastructure. So, if the moon's patterns change, we're looking at a global economic shuffle. It's not just about finding the money to fix things. It's about predicting how far-reaching these changes might be. Whole economies that have been stable for centuries could find themselves having to innovate on the fly, which is both a challenge and an expense. The potential changes in the moon's tilt would have far-reaching implications for technology, especially for systems that rely on its current position and influence. Navigation systems, like GPS, which many of us use daily for everything from driving to tracking shipments, rely in part on the moon's gravitational effects. If the moon's position or pull were to change, recalibrating these systems could become necessary to maintain accuracy. Astronomy, too, would face a new set of challenges. The moon's altered position would change the dynamics of celestial navigation and could affect observational data and research, requiring adjustments in telescopes and other observational equipment. Satellite technology is another domain that would be impacted. Satellites are launched and operated with precise calculations based on the gravitational forces of celestial bodies, including the moon. Any deviation from the moon's established position could mean reconfiguring satellite orbits, which is no trivial task and could be a costly endeavor. Moreover, the ripple effect would extend to data collection from satellites that monitor Earth's climate, land, and oceans, which could see shifts in their accuracy and may require significant technological upgrades or new models of prediction and analysis. The consequences aren't just technical, they're economic and social too. These global systems are the cogs that keep modern life running smoothly. From financial markets that depend on precise timekeeping to communication networks that connect people across the world. So, if you're thinking about the moon getting its axis knocked out of whack, you're not just thinking about a change in the night sky. You're looking at a ripple effect that touches everything: our oceans, our economies, our sleep patterns, and even the soulful stuff, like art and spirituality. It's a wild ride, imagining the what-ifs, but it sure does shine a light on how this big old rock in the sky is a key player in the symphony of life on Earth. If you haven't already, please consider to subscribe and give us a like if you found this content informative. And remember, you can always leave your comments and suggestions down below. If you want more content like this, or if you have any specific topic you'd like us to cover in the future, please let us know. Your input shapes the direction of this channel. Once again, thank you for being a part of our incredible community. You may also want to check our video, Terraforming Mars, The Making of Earth 2.0, and the Truth About Sleep Paralysis. Thank you for watching.